Let's go.
All right, guys. This is the special podcast, episode 3. Uh, this episode, we got ourselves a genuine maid of honor. Uh, my wife, she works in the cleaning industry, and we got her on here today to ask her a few questions. And so her name's Jules, but today she's going by Rami. So, what do you have to say? Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm super stoked to be your first guest on this new podcast. Um, my name is Jules or Rami, and I am Liam's wife. And oh man, did you ask me a question already? Did you want me to just introduce myself?
Yeah, just introduce yourself and yeah, just talk about what you do and stuff.
Yeah, so I've been cleaning or in the cleaning industry for going on. It'll be 10 years next year, babe. I figured that out. It'll
I
be
talked to
10
him
years
about that.
next
Yeah,
year.
that's what I was thinking. It was about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because I believe I started at Mary Maid's in 2016. It was either late 2015 or early 2016. So it'll be going on 10 years next year, 2026. And that's wild.
No, that's
because-
crazy because sorry.
No, you're fine. Say what you're going to say.
I remember we had a conversation about this because we were talking about the possibility if you had ever gone to my grandmother's house because she used Mary Maid specifically for like 4 years around that time. I think we talked about that for a little bit.
Goodness. Okay, wait a minute. So did she live in Cartersville?
Yeah, she lived in the Waterford, that really rich, fancy people neighborhood.
What was her name?
Shirley Barentine.
You knew her.
I cleaned for her.
Yeah, my grandma can kind of be a bit rude to people sometimes.
Okay. Hold on. Let's just I want to confirm this first. Is her house not directly a part of the neighborhood?
I mean, it's in the neighborhood. It's like her
Right.
address was 10 Limerick Court.
When you pull in the neighborhood, is it a normal driveway or is it like a dirt driveway?
No, it's just your normal like concrete driveway with cracks in it.
Okay, so let's
It was
rewind.
a one-story brick house. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to think because I remember that name. If I didn't clean for her, then I definitely like heard the girls talking about her, or like because I remember that name.
You remember that name, yeah.
I do. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I knew that there was probably going to be a connection.
I definitely went through Waterford a number of times, and I cleaned for many people in Waterford. So
It doesn't surprise me.
wild.
Those people have enough money to pay somebody to clean their house.
Oh yeah, those houses are insane.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. That's
Richie-
crazy, man. I'm sorry. I can't get over that. That's wild.
Because you had that connection.
And I wonder if that's why his last name has always sounded familiar to me. Because
Probably.
that's such a unique last name.
Yeah, because there's
Okay,
two
anyways.
sets of Barentines. I'm the one with one R, but there's like a completely different family that has two R's. I've never met any of those people, though.
That's crazy.
Well, me and Richie have a couple of questions lined up.
Lay him on me. I'm ready.
I'd say I'd let you go first, dude, since you're her husband.
Oh,
I feel
shit,
like
my
that's...
bad. We have some sponsors. We forgot to go through the sponsors.
Don't want to forget those sponsors.
Oh, yeah, those are important.
All right. Couch crumbs. Because cleaning is for quitters. All right. Spatula Insurance Co. We've got you flipping covered. Grandma's Wi-Fi. It works. Eventually. All right. I think that's it right now. I think that's all we got.
Those are some great sponsors.
They're official.
Oh, yeah, dude. Couch
Yeah.
crumbs are like a daily product that I can't get rid of. I'm addicted to them at this
You're gonna have to
point.
give me some of those couch crumbs.
Well, I think you might already have them. I mean, well, the thing is, that's one thing I was gonna ask you because I live with you, and we're not messy people, but we're definitely not the most cleanly. How do you think that?
Yeah.
How do you think that like? How do you have you always liked to clean, or is it something that
No.
you
No.
something you?
So
How'd you get into this? How about that? How'd you get into this?
okay, so it's actually really crazy. When I was a kid, I had a weird obsession with cleaning, and it was to the point where I would ask my friends when I went over to their house to play if I could clean their rooms. And some of them would let me and some of them wouldn't. Like Kayla, I actually locked her out of her room one time, and she was just sitting out there knocking on the door, and I would not let her in until I cleaned her room and like reorganized everything. And then I had another friend that let me do it. And that's how we spent the day of me hanging out. So it's like, it's always been something I've loved doing. I think it has to do with like the fact that I have a little bit of OCD. So it satisfies me, to clean and to make things new. I like new things. So it's like everything's new when you clean them. So I'm trying to think yeah, I used to clean like doing chores and stuff too. But as far as working though, I never saw myself cleaning professionally, like as a job or like making a living, because I never thought I liked it that much. But I think now that I've done it for so long, it's like I've accepted it's just like a part of me at this point.
So like you like doing you like cleaning other people's stuff, just not your own.
Yes, I'd much more prefer cleaning other people's messes than my
Well,
own.
speaking of that, I have a couple of pictures I'd like to ask you and see what you think of, and just see if you. What would you think of this? Where would you
Like if I
start
had to clean them.
if you had to clean them? Yeah, what would you think?
Oh, dude, you're not going to show her a
Oh
Redditor's
my
basement,
God.
are you?
What do you? How would you? You obviously would love to do this. You just said
I
you love
would.
cleaning other
I
people.
would.
This would be like a big thing you could tackle. How would you do it, and
This
how long would it take you too? Just
Oh,
because you
for
know what
this
this.
room or for the whole
Well,
house?
here's
Like
the
it's
thing. If you look right here, if we can zoom in right here, you can tell right there. There's a little bit. You can see the floor, and it's
you can see
vacuum.
carpet.
It's vacuum. It's just right here. I think what happened
Yeah.
is some teenagers had a big, huge house party and like wrecked
Okay.
the place. Maybe. I
So
don't
for
know.
the whole room, um,
Or this might have been a prank. I feel like this is a practical prank. Somebody went and fucking grandma pissed some people off, like the neighborhood fucking youngsters, and they dumped some fucking. That's what it looks like, because this place looks nice in the background. Look, that shit looks like
it
somebody
does.
probably
It
even had
does.
some plastic on the couch at one point.
Okay.
So what do
So
you think
we're
about this?
going with that. This is not a hoarder situation. This is not it's been sitting like
Well, what do
this
you think?
situation.
That was my analysis of this. I'm a
Because you have
very
to
spectre
understand
gadget over here.
the way I've been cleaning is number one, I don't just do rooms, I do houses. So judging off of this, if I were to just do the room and it was that bad, because if we got a house that looked like this, we would have to do rooms at a time. So I'd say, well, I would start by picking up all the trash. That would be where
All the top layer
yeah,
stuff.
the top layer. I would get a trash bag and I would get rid of as
All the
much
big
of
stuff.
that. Yeah, and get all of the trash out of the way. And then you're going to have to wipe down everything.
What's up with them stains, dog?
Oh, I
What's
think at
them
this point,
stains? Look at them stains.
Oh,
see,
What's
God.
that? What's that?
oh, I don't know.
Dude, it looks like
that?
garbage juice.
Well,
At
I
that
could.
point, I would suggest getting a whole new chair. That's disgusting.
We also got something else too as well.
Okay.
We have another one right here.
Oh, I have a small question, like a quick one that I feel like she could answer real quick that I
Oh
had.
yeah, while you look that
Okay.
up.
What's up?
Yeah, okay, so you said it, but I already knew this about you, that you have OCD, which if there's a disorder, I had it when I was a kid too. I had this obsession of if I touched something that would make my hands dirty, I'd have to wash my hands, grab a towel, and go wipe down the surface that I just touched because like
Oh,
I
wow.
smudged it. Which compared to how I live now, you would think that is rather ridiculous because I'm not gonna lie, I'm just really lazy. But anyway, would you say that working in the cleaning industry, which I've noticed is a thing with people who have obsessive compulsive disorder. Like my Aunt
Yeah.
Katie, she will vacuum the same part of her carpet like 7 times type
Oh, wow.
stuff. And
Yeah, a lot of the
would you
girls I work
say
with have
that
OCD.
would you say that when you're working and like you're more than likely putting your OCD into your work, do you think that like calms you down like when you get home? So like say you get home and like you're not freaking out about everything not being wiped down or dusty or just clean, like whatever your mind perceives as clean, you know?
Hmm. If anything, it puts it into overdrive when I get home.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah. So one thing I do know for a fact is, oh, and this is what I wanted to say earlier. I didn't start out being like this because like I did like cleaning other people's things, you know, when I was a kid. But when I was a teenager, I was disgusting. Like I didn't change my sheets for months and months and months. Like I was on the level of a guy bad. My mom could attest to that. Like she will tell you I was disgusting as a teenager and probably as a young adult. And I don't think it was really until I started working for Mary Maids that my eyes were like opened. Um and I have like become 10 times worse about everything. Like my sheets get changed once a week. The house gets deep cleaned once a week. Like I stay on top of my shit. Like I
Well,
never done
I
that
would
before.
say I don't think that that's a bad thing though. See, like
Oh yeah,
Liam
no, I
knows this.
agree.
I have the problem of I want to clean. I want to get like, you know, the area looking nice, but when I find myself looking at everything, it kind of gives me anxiety because I'm like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude, this is so much to do and it's going to be so much
Oh yeah.
trash bags that
It's
I have to, you know,
overwhelming.
and I won't do it. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I told Liam I was gonna do the dishes earlier. They're still not done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest and best piece of advice that I ever learned, because I was trained by, in my opinion, the best of the best when it comes to cleaning. Like I wasn't trained by some lady that just cleans. Like I was trained by literally this. It's still on? Oh.
Some old Russian wise lady.
Oh, there we are. We are back. Well, I think so. It cut out for a second. Hold on, Richie. Liam is having technical
Good.
difficulties. Yeah, we're
Nah, that's
figuring it out though.
cool.
I'm back in. But to answer your question, where was the last thing you heard?
You were talking about how like the lady that trained you was like pretty much like the best of the best in terms
Yes.
of like
Okay. Yes. She was the best of the best. Because in the Ukraine and I think in pretty much any other country other than America, their work ethic is just so hard and so rigorous. Like you don't have sick days. You don't like unless you're dying. And you put your all into your work. You know what I mean? So that's the
yeah.
level of training. Plus her detail was just so over the top. Like I was trained to look for such specific things in places that a lot of people don't think to clean.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so having that under my belt, that really helped a lot too. And I was going somewhere with that, and I don't
Okay,
remember.
I have like a quick. Okay, this is more of like a like not like an I'd say more of like an advice type question. Like
I'm
what
back,
would
guys.
you
Sorry.
say like what would you say
Nice.
to someone like me who I'm going to be quite frank, I most of the time have no motivation to
Mhm.
clean my house or anything. Like what would you say to people who just have that problem? Like they want to get their house clean, but they just find themselves always saying they're going to do it, but they don't do it. Like, do you have a method? Like, do you put music on or a podcast or like, is it like a headspace that you have to get into?
It's definitely helpful if you put music on or like have like a show playing on TV or something. I always do something like that. And then really just choose one room and then one thing in that room. Like for instance, if you chose your living room, and I'm just gonna pretend I'm you, Richie. If I were you and I wanted to get your living room clean, you need to just block out the rest of the house. You know what I mean? And just you are in that room and you're not going to leave that room until it's done. So then I would, like I said, with the picture, like take a big trash bag and just go around that room, start with the trash. And once you get that done, take a break, sit down, do something, like watch a YouTube video, chill for a minute. Unless you want to keep going, you know what I mean? But it's just like, don't pressure yourself to get it all done at once, because that's when you get overwhelmed and then you just stop and it just never gets done.
Yeah.
And then, there are ways to clean a room that make it a little easier. So the first step would be high dusting. You could go around with a, duster and get all the cobwebs, out of the corners. Get the ceiling fans, get the blinds, get the, window sills, get the top of the doors, get the top of the door frames. That would all be considered high dusting. And then you'd have that part knocked out and then move on to dust and wipe would essentially be the second one.
Yeah.
And that would be just, wiping down everything, pick up and organize. You pick up all of the stuff that you're not throwing away. And then you would, kind of put those in piles, get that out of the way. And then, it's all about taking one step at a time, really.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple questions in, Liam. You wanna get a couple in for?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh wow. Yeah. I can hear you like coming from Jules's mic.
He hears you through my mic right now. We can't
That's
hear
weird.
you.
Excuse me.
Yeah. It's not coming through your mic.
Oh, okay. So now, with him experiencing some technical difficulties, I have a quick sponsor that I'd like to mention. Unfortunately, I'm currently possessed by the undead spirit of Michael J. Fox, so I cannot stop shaking. I had to place my phone on the table, but there is a new medicine to help stop the craving of Parkinson's disease, Parkinson. If you can't stop shaking and you find yourself just completely debilitated and immobile, Parkinson.
That was beautiful, Richie.
But here, I'm not gonna lie. I want to try. Okay, so like I'm gonna try to ask. See, I don't want to do the wage gap question yet, so I'm going to rephrase it into two separate questions.
Hold on, Richie. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out why it's not. You see how when I talk, the little gray expands from my picture?
Yep. Yeah, it's not doing that for him.
Yeah, you can look, babe. You can look at yours and you'll see it's not doing that for you.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, that's what it says on my screen.
He's checking every which way.
But yeah, I sometimes find myself like, look, I'm going to be honest, this is going to sound really bad, but this isn't really like a family-friendly podcast, and we've already passed the 10-minute mark. So like, I'm going to be completely honest. In terms of cleaning, when it comes to me, I have never really been able to find myself like, unless I'm being threatened by code enforcement, and there was a couple times where I was on drugs, to be honest. And when you're on like uppers, and I don't condone, like I'm not condoning the use of uppers to clean your house, but that is one thing, dude. Like when you're tweaking or geeking or whatever the hell you're doing on uppers, for some reason it makes you want to clean. Like I don't know, like if it hits like certain receptors in your brain or something that like gives you like as fucking TikTok calls the ick, but like, I've gotten into that headspace before, but like without drugs or without being threatened. But I think
Yeah.
like what you said earlier was like you got to focus on one room. Like, okay, because
Yeah.
what I heard something from one of my other friends' wives who used to do cleaning for a while. She knew my mom. Well, it's more like my dad's friend. But anyway, she said that she liked to start from the back of the house to the front, like
Yes.
because I showed her the layout of my house, and she was like, "Oh well, honey, just start with the back room and do the
Yep.
individual bedrooms, then do the bathroom because the living room and the kitchen are the biggest. You ain't got a basement."
No, she's so right.
Because the individual like my jam room is atrocious. Like if you were to see it now, because like I remember when you and Liam came over, you and Liam like really did help me like organize, and like you brought over that little Amazon bookcase vacuum cleaner.
Yes, that's my Portavac. That's my bestie. And we had that room looking so good.
No, I know, dude. See, the problem with me is I will do my deep clean, but I won't keep up with the clean. And I think that what you were saying earlier, you need to clean your house at least once a week, like vacuum
Testing.
your carpets.
You guys
Hey,
hear me
you're
now?
back.
Yes,
Yeah.
there he
Alright, cool.
is. Yay!
Let's go.
Alright. It was because
All right, Liam, I got
I just can't flip it up anymore.
Okay.
yeah, I had some
Well, I
pretty
have
good
questions.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
let's
some questions
go.
with you.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright. So we have a video that we're gonna play, and we're gonna see how realistic it is, in your opinion, to what maids do.
Okay.
All
I'm
right,
excited.
let's see.
On the bed
Pop.
in your hotel room watching television while wearing your own pajamas is sometimes the best part of a vacation. Today we look at top 10 things that are most dirty in a hotel. If this is your
Oh.
first time visiting us, click that red subscribe button for more videos like this one.
It's gonna be
Pillowcases.
interesting.
Today's show hotel investigation saw maids changing the bed sheets, but only giving the pillows a brush and fluff, leaving the same pillowcases on for new guests. TV remote. If you forget about cleaning your own remote at home, well, the hotel's maids probably do too. Phone. Similar to the remote, the telephone can
So what do you think so far?
So everything gets wiped down.
Everything.
Yes.
skip
Everything gets
sanitizing
wiped
procedures.
down.
The Today Show sleuthing found that receivers could be 3 times as nasty as they should be. Hotel
Mhm.
maid. Hotel maids do actually, if they're really tired and have the time. For example, if they are doing a large suite and are given longer to clean it, they will have a nap in the beds. Something else they do sometimes is they use the toilets in the guest's bathroom, but only if they are super busy and don't have
What do you have to say about that? You guys just like laying down there, taking little snoozes?
Okay. Well, no. So none of us do that, but I have heard of my coworkers walking in on other coworkers taking naps. These are no one that works there now.
Yeah.
No one that works there now, and no one that I knew.
Okay.
I can't get too crazy. I have a job. I don't want to lose my job if y'all.
No,
are
no,
really
that's why like
famous.
we're don't name no, we don't need to name names of people or businesses or anything. It's just kind of like I guess nonchalant because
in general. Well, yeah, and so it definitely happens for sure. I've never witnessed it. I don't do it. But
Okay.
but yeah, using the bathroom.
People gotta do what
I
they gotta
think
do.
anywhere you work, if there's a toilet and someone needs to use it, like, yeah, that happens for sure. Now, whether they wipe it down after they use it or not, that's
Yeah.
enough time
to be
go the
debated.
staff toilets.
exactly.
Bathroom counters. You'd think the proximity to the shower and the sink would actually make this spot one of the cleanest in a hotel, but it is in fact the dirtiest, with the study citing an average of 1,288,817 CFUs per square inch in all hotels, and even higher, 2,534,773 CFUs in 4-star hotels. The reason for this
Gordon
number, the
Ramsay
study
would be
says,
furious.
What's CFUs?
I don't know exactly what it stands for, but I believe it's like it's the germ count. It's like the Oh, you need to look that up. What does that stand for? CFUs.
Yeah, because they have like a thing, like it's like night vision goggles where if you turn the light out, like it's like lumin. Well, like you don't spray luminol, like that's usually for blood and other juices, but like it's like basically like a little night vision thing where you can see like the germs that are everywhere on a surface.
All right, guys. So let's see. Colony forming unit. A measure you use to estimate the number of viable microbes in a sample.
Huh.
It's
So-
essentially telling you the germ level.
Yeah, like how many bacteria,
Yeah.
bacteria.
Dude, at over 2 million?
That's just upsetting on a level of when you're a housekeeper. I mean, one of the main things you wipe down is the bathroom counter. That's like the biggest thing, like
Yeah.
So that sounds like an issue of you're not teaching your people how to clean correctly.
Yeah, probably.
could be due to the fact that some hotel personnel wipe the countertop with the same towel used to clean the toilet. Hotel
no.
rooms.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
I can't speak for anyone else, but again, with Mary Maids, I was trained to clean things in certain orders. And when you clean a bathroom, the toilet is always cleaned last. Always.
I'd always see that when they would do my Mimi's house. They'd always do, not only would they do the bathrooms last, but yeah, toilets always came last. That I noticed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you mop bathrooms first, and then, or I'm sorry, you mop bathrooms last. Like if you're not going to change out the mop head, mop all your main rooms, and then you mop bathrooms last. So it's essentially the same thing.
Okay, cool.
Because you're not dragging all of the germs from the bathroom floor into the rest of the
process.
house. Yeah.
All right.
The quality of a guest room is often measured in the number of fixtures in the bathroom. The bathroom is by far the most expensive room to build. A standard 3-fixture bathroom has a sink, bath, and toilet. A 5-fixture bathroom is more typical for luxury hotels and has 2 sinks, a bath, standalone shower, and a toilet.
I don't
The
deal with those,
glasses and
thankfully.
mugs. Proceed with caution before you drink out of a glass or a mug in the room.
Absolutely.
Investigation after investigation has found that many times maids quickly rinse out used glasses without washing them.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, huh.
Wash your dishes in hotels. Wash your own
You
dishes.
do that. Everybody does
I
that.
did not know that. I did
everyone
not
does
know that. Like, wow, I didn't. Huh.
We do clean them. But it's technically not in our job description. And that goes for literally anywhere I've worked. Dishes are typically left to the person. When maids clean your dishes, it's a favor. But then, either way, it's just, unless you're doing it yourself, they're not going to get cleaned properly. You know what I mean? I mean, if you think about it, we're cleaning everything else in the room. We don't have time to sit and go through every single dish and clean every single dish properly after every guest. So ultimately, it's not going to get done correctly.
Well, that, and even at the house, you don't like doing dishes.
No, I'm not a dish person. I hate washing dishes. I
So,
didn't wash
okay.
dishes until I was like 13. No, I was probably like in my 20s until I was finally forced to clean dishes.
So, quick side question. Would you say, okay, like when there's extra stuff involved, like dishes or something like that, would you say, like, based on the tip that you might get,
Oh,
like, affects that
absolutely.
decision?
Yes.
Cut like so in at the well, not we're not going to name the name of the place you work at, but the place that you currently work at, is there a person that does dishes, or is it just like up to y'all or up to like some random person?
It's up to us to check the dishes.
Oh
It's
wow.
when the guests check in, they tell them wash your dishes.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So technically, all we're supposed to do is just check on, make sure they're not broken, they're okay. But unfortunately,
Huh.
some people just leave them dirty, so we do end up washing them. And in that case, we have soap, we run soap over it. We have sponges, we clean them with sponges, and then we dry them and put them
Huh.
away.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and that's. But hey, if you leave me a 20, I do them, with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Or worse, spray them with a cleaning liquid that says do not drink. Luckily, most hotel rooms now offer those individual cups wrapped in plastic, so always use those if you can. About that ice bucket, do not use the ice bucket without the liner. It may have
Oh,
been
no.
used
I have a
as
story.
a
I
vomit
have a story.
receptacle. Get
So I don't think I'll ever use ice buckets at a hotel ever again after what happened to my coworker. We have ice buckets, as do many hotels, and we put ice bags in them, clean them out if they use them. Most of the time, they don't get used. However, my coworker went to check to see if the one in the room had ice bags. Didn't look like it had been used, but when she opened it, she got a whiff of something, and so she picked it up and smelled it, and it was straight urine.
Oh wow.
Somebody pissed in the ice
Someone
bucket.
got drunk and took the ice bucket outside and pissed in it.
That's
What
why
the
you guys, you always
Yeah.
want to make sure there's a bag.
Yeah.
See, I would say something like that, I feel like is more like I wouldn't say like a personal thing, but like that's some like 80s rock and roll band type stuff. Yeah, we're going to piss in the fucking ice bucket.
Yeah.
Like,
The Beach
like,
Boys stayed at my work
Well,
and they didn't
speaking of
tip
that,
us.
what's the grossest thing you've ever seen?
Ooh, I've seen a lot of gross things. Probably the worst. There was a man, I had to clean up his shit all over his bathroom
oh no.
one time. And technically, we're not supposed to do that. I'm trying to remember why I did it. I don't think it was so much to the point of where I could just leave it and be like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was small enough to where like, okay, like I just need to get over it. Like it was on the toilet rim and like on the toilet seat and it was on the floor. Like, that was probably, that's,
Let's see if we can find some reference photos.
oh God.
Oh wow, yeah. Let's find some ice bucket reference photos. Because, dude,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie, Liam and Jules too. That literally scares the hell out of me because I have always used those. But I mean, I put the bag in, but like, I've always like. I remember my dad told me just to always put the bag
Alright,
in
was
there.
it
If
more
anything,
like
Whoa.
was it
I
more
mean, that
like
is a good
this?
point.
Was it more like this?
No. Splatter.
Splatter.
Splatter is the
Oh
word you want to
God.
use.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like that.
splatter is definitely the word.
So would you say it's like when I have beer and egg
Was it more
salad
like this
night?
one?
That's more what I'm talking about.
And
Oh
so
my
you were able to you
god.
cleaned that up, didn't you?
Not the wall. I would never do the wall. It was never like that. If it
Oh my.
would be like that, I'd say no.
It was more like that,
No,
wasn't it?
that'd be too much. That's too much.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit more
Well,
subtle.
let's see. Is that a little bit more like what we're talking about?
No, I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. No, I would not touch that with a 10-foot
No,
pole.
dude, that is we're talking about the subtleness of cleaning up a shit
think
stain
that's-
right now.
That seems a little bit more like what you're talking about, though, right?
Oh my god, dude, that one's
If it
horrible.
looks like a biohazard, I'm not touching it.
But that's what shit
But
is.
if it looks like someone had splattery diarrhea, yes, I can take a rag and just wipe down your shit and get it off.
Oh man.
I've reached my hand in toilets and just bare-assed wiped shit.
Oh my
stains
This is
God.
off of
actually
the
a great
toilet
one.
bowl.
What would you do about this one right here?
Burn it to the ground.
Oh
Burn it. Set it
my
on fire. It
god.
already looks like it's been set on fire. Detonate a bomb. I don't know. It's
Is that a person?
That's a corpse. That's a corpse.
That's a person just laying in there.
That's a full dead.
Dude, are we
that's a
pulling up crime scene photos?
Yeah, that's a crime scene.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, dude, that's horrible.
That was pretty bad.
So the
right.
thing is, okay, I had one job in the cleaning industry. I was what they call, do y'all have housemen where you work?
I was just about to say, when you did houseman at Barry, correct?
Their name is Redacted LLC. I don't want to, like I said, I'm not going to name names just because I feel like it'd be bad for the podcast.
Sorry. I'm
you
so sorry.
No, you're good. But anyway, I worked at this place. It was a in Georgia. It's a 3-star place. Like it's a place where rich people go to fuck off and play golf and get drunk and eat food on their vacation. Like the most expensive cabin was $3,000 a night, and they're really nice. Like they are really nice. But anyway, but when we were talking about dishes and stuff like that, for the most part, we didn't have any ice buckets, and all the food that guests ordered came in throwaway plastic containers. Like there were dishes, but this place was so like high star type stuff. Like they had restaurants in the thing.
Smart. Yeah.
I would wonder, like, like places like, because I've been to a couple of those like discount motels before, and like they have dishes, and I just don't understand why they have dishes. It was like, why don't you just like buy to-go containers?
So in my case, it's because all of our units are individually owned by people, like different people. Yeah. So they're basically like apartments, like little mini apartments, condos. And people just rent them out through Beechers. So it's basically like someone's little apartment. So it has dishes like a house would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say my experience was very weird. I'm not going to lie. Like being a houseman is very different. Like you're literally just taking the sheets and like the pillowcases and the trash out of the room, and like basically like so the housekeepers don't have to do that. But the thing that I noticed is when I was working there, both parties would be tipped. Like how do housekeepers effectively like figure out the tip breaking, like, how to ratio it from like, are y'all in teams of 2 or something like that?
I think that depends on where you work. So for us, the people essentially leave the tips in the room. So whoever cleans that room would get that tip.
Yeah, it's whoever's there first, probably.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, have you ever found like a dead body or like a body part, like a dead animal or anything like that? Has there any been like maybe like a toe or something, or like a dead mouse?
Thankfully, no. But the worst dead thing, we had to clean up after college boys.
That's what I was also gonna. That was gonna lead me to my next question. What was the biggest mess you've ever had to clean?
College boys. It was a nightmare. every single drawer in the kitchen, every cabinet in the kitchen, and the entire fridge had piles and piles of dead cockroaches in them.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Everywhere. In the fridge. Little ones. Like
Oh, yeah.
not the big cockroaches. The small ones.
Let's see if we can't pull these out for reference.
Oh yeah, it was bad. And it was just me and another girl.
I think they call them like.
Yes, those are the ones. Yep.
Wait. These are the ones right here.
Ugh.
Screen share. This is the small roach right here that we were talking about. People.
Yep.
This thing right here. I think they're also called
Those, the
Colombians.
one down on the right. Yeah, they're.
Oh, dude, those ones are the worst.
Yeah.
These little ones.
Yep.
These are like.
Ugh.
Let's see the identifying the 3 different types. Let's see what we got. That's the American cockroaches right there. The German cockroach. Those are the Germans. That's what they are. And then the smoky browns. Smoky brown.
The one at the top.
That's the one that's like, hey, motherfucker, come over here.
Yeah.
That's Smoky Brown. I'm gonna sneak on your shoulder in the middle of the night when you watching TV. When you got the lights down real low, I'm gonna crawl up your back and scare you.
God, that's Papa Roach. That's Papa Roach right there.
That's Smoky Brown. Smoky Brown cockroach right there.
Yeah, that house was so destroyed.
Yeah. Wow.
It was bad.
Have
I
you
cleaned for a
ever
couple
been
college boys.
Have you ever been Louis C.K. or like Chris D'Elia? You know what I mean? Where somebody, calls for a Mary Maid and or calls for somebody and they're just jerking it, sitting there jerking legs spread.
No, thank God.
Have you ever
No.
heard of that happening to anybody?
There was a girl I worked with once that got felt up by a guy.
That's the
Ooh,
closest
man.
thing
And
that you had to,
it
like-
became clear that he was calling her over there, like trying to hook up with her. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Uh-huh.
On some predator shit.
Yeah, she was on a ladder, like cleaning a ceiling fan, and he came up and just started like caressing her thigh.
That's
Wow.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a mess that you couldn't get clean?
Yes.
What was that?
God, some houses are just too far gone, like with stains and stuff.
My house.
Richie, nah.
No, dude, I remember, man. Don't lie. The last time y'all both came over, I remember y'all both saying you felt like you couldn't breathe in my house, and that really kind of hit me. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, the last time I came to your house, it actually looked really good. So it's getting there. Your house is definitely savable.
Oh yeah, dude, it is. I blame my house on literal pure laziness. And I mean, dude, even when me and you lived together, Liam, we were fucking pigs. Like, don't lie, bro. We were pigs.
Yeah, but I cleaned up a lot. I cleaned up like 5 different occasions.
No, I remember.
And then I just gave up. But
I don't even want to know what that house looked like when y'all
what
lived together.
are the people at hotels like?
The guests?
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're very, very nice. But we do get those ones that like you just cannot make happy. Like everything is wrong. You didn't clean anything right. And they can be very nasty.
What's the worst like person you've had to deal with? Like how rude were they? Do you have like a memorable experience where you're just like, Jesus?
Yes. There was this older lady I had to go clean for. She was the mom of another lady we cleaned for. And I cleaned for her daughter before, and her daughter was very sweet. But I went to clean for her, and she lived in this little apartment. You used to go back there. It's in Palencia. I'm going to stop. I'm forgetting we're on a podcast. Okay. So anyways, I used to drive back and go clean for her. So it started out okay. And I cleaned her kitchen. I would talk to her. It seemed okay. And I remember she went into the kitchen and took a paper towel and wiped it on the floor after I mopped it and picked it up and showed me, and it was still dirty. And then she took me into another room and showed me there was dust on the leg of her desk, and she showed me that. And then she started telling me that, well, if you don't know how to do your job, someone needs to tell you. And she took me to like every room and started showing me things that I wasn't doing right, or she didn't like how I did it, or I missed a crumb, in her carpet in the corner, and like just completely ripped me apart. To the point of where like she was telling me I didn't know how to do my job, that they needed to start hiring people that knew how to clean. And I got through it somehow. I don't remember how. I think I just because I didn't know how to speak up for myself back then either. So like I just took it all in silence and like bottled it up. And then by the time I got to my car, I called my boss and I fell apart and just cried. And I told her I never want to clean for this lady again. And she never sent me back. And I think the lady ended up quitting our services after that, or she
Good
said,
riddance. Jeez.
Well, man, there are some people that you just can't make happy. Was it like an older, like a grandma
Yeah.
type lady? Yeah,
Yes.
dude. Some of those old school gals. Specifically, I'm not putting any hate on the South because I'm born and raised from the South, but I have noticed a tendency, like for like older grandma like type southern ladies. It's just like you can't satisfy them with it, like anything, like especially
Yeah.
like if you're trying to clean, like when my grandma would ask me to vacuum the rug, I'd have to do it like 5 times because she'd just be like, there's still a hair right there. I'm like, it's just a hair.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but like, okay.
I got accused of stealing one time.
Really?
Oh wow.
I did. There was an older couple that I cleaned for, and the lady was disabled. She was in a wheelchair. But the guy was just a piece of crap. He was just a piece of crap. Very rude, very redneck, but like not like the friendly good redneck, like the nasty, like mean, just not good person. And I hated going to that house. I had to go there every other week, every other Wednesday. And she was usually gone to doctor's appointments, or the bus would come by and pick her up. So it was always just him. And he would usually stay out back in his shed while I cleaned. But every now and then, like, he would come into the kitchen to get something, and I would like have to interact with him. And he would be like very like short, like, hey, bye, like just whatever. But every now and then he would have a conversation with me about my car, or like just about like men things. Like he painted for a living, so he would talk to me about that. But anyways, I was there with a new girl I was training one time. And this was after I'd been cleaning for them regularly for like a couple months. And we were about to leave. And I think I was telling him goodbye. And he said something like, well, you wouldn't know where my white t-shirt is now, would you? Or something like that. And I was like, what white t-shirt? And he proceeded to tell me that I had gone into his closet and stolen his white work t-shirts that he paints in. They disappeared. And I was like, sir, I didn't touch your shirts. He goes, well, you're the last one that was here. And then I was like, it wasn't me. He goes, well, what about that girl that's with you? And pointed at the girl that was with me. And she didn't speak very good English. And I literally was just like, well, we didn't take your shirt. And we left. And I told my boss, and she never sent me back again.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That's
wild.
such
Why
a
would we go
no,
through
but
and steal your
that,
disgusting shirts?
no, that's such a weird thing to accuse someone of stealing. I was assuming you were gonna say like money or like a ring or something like
Oh, yeah.
jewelry.
It was his.
But,
That was
like-
another thing my boss pointed out. She was like, why would he accuse you of stealing his work shirts? Like, why would you go through and do that? It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
weird. Oh, and then he
Wow.
asked why I never came back. He was like, "Well, what happened to her? Where'd she go? We loved her." And my boss told him that I went to college. Yeah, she was like, "No, she quit and she went to college." Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some more pictures we'd like to ask you about.
Okay, let's go.
Let's see.
Let's go.
What
Dude,
would
this is
you
fun.
say about this? If you had to clean this,
That actually looks really easy to me.
really?
It does, because oh God, sorry, I swallowed wrong.
No, you're good.
I can tell it's not been sitting there. Like I don't see a lot of like dingy stains. Like the furniture looks good. The walls might need a little bit wiping down, but like ultimately I think that would just be like throwing away trash and like organizing things.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I feel very hopeful about that one. Ooh.
Let's see. We got this one too.
Again, that one looks, I mean, that one's a little rougher than the other one because I can tell that I think that's been sitting there a little longer. Yeah, but I mean, maybe like give me 2 hours.
2 hours. All right.
Yeah, give me 2 hours.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's see. And then we got this right here that we're going to get your opinion on. How would you go about cleaning this?
Ooh. 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 Okay, well, first of all, remove the mat and destroy it. Throw it away. Gross. Is that a mat or is it the print of a mat?
That's a mat.
Okay. And then I would absolutely bleach the hell out of it. Bleach is my best friend when it comes to cleaning bathtubs and showers. Well, actually, just anything in the bathroom. Bleach is my best friend. I spray down everything with bleach.
So bleach, you would
Bleach
use
it and
bleach.
magic eraser.
That was what you would use.
Yes.
What if I told you that was fecal matter?
Oh God. And again, I would not touch that. I would not touch that.
Well, I'm just saying that this is a college dorm, and that might be where
Rinse it down the tub. Rinse it all down the tub.
All right, that's
Yep.
what we're gonna be doing. With
Make
that,
sure you
guys.
got good plumbing.
Yeah. Send some Drano after it.
No,
We have-
Drano's not good. I'm not a plumber, but from every plumber I've ever talked to, Drano is bad for your drain.
Okay. No Drano. No on the Drano. Send
Something
send
like that.
Good. Something good down the drains.
we had some statistics we wanted to pull up for you and see what you thought of them. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let me see.
Statistics.
All right. Let's see. So, did you know that the male income was that much higher than the female income? About
No.
1,100 more each year.
No, I didn't. And I think
This-
the reasoning for that, the only reasoning that I could think of for that is men are typically assigned to harder cleaning jobs, which pay more.
Okay.
Oh, Liam, could you please pull up that thing that we were reviewing earlier about like the percentages of the ratio of male to females in the cleaning industry?
That's this right here.
Yeah, okay, so this leads into my question. So like I have noticed like, and I hate to keep using my grandma as a source for like most of my questions, but she used cleaning services for like the last 10 years of her life. She always was under the impression I don't want a man coming to clean my house because like they sent it was a woman training a man on how to clean my Mimi's house, and she was just like, I don't want a man. I don't. It almost seemed borderline like kind of sexist, but like
Mhm.
because I was kind of like, well, what's so wrong with like a man? I could see, I could understand like if he came to the house alone, he's a man, she's an elderly lady, she's kind of short, but
Mhm.
like I would say because when I wasn't doing housekeeping, but when I was working as a houseman, like, because they didn't like, that's not, there were women that did it too, but like, I feel like, you know, the aspect of the cleaning industry is mainly focused on women, which and I'm not like not even getting political, but I've always noticed that because my mom was a house cleaner my whole her whole life up
Mhm.
until um you know and she had customers that you know would talk to her about like they just, to put it bluntly, that it's a woman's job, and like
Yeah.
my mom didn't like that, but like she said, my mom always used to have the excuse, cleaning comes natural to women, you men are disgusting, y'all just leave your beer cans everywhere and leave poop in the toilet.
I mean, she has valid points.
So would you say
So
that it's unfair, like the fact that, less men work in that space, but they get paid more, even though, like you said, it's based on like the harder jobs that, let's just say,
yeah,
the ladies don't want to do, but let's say there is
right.
a percentage of those ladies who are down to do those really nasty, dirty jobs. Like, do you
Mhm.
think that like the pay should be more equal, or especially considering the gap of, or the ratio of female to male, because it's not even 20% for males.
Yeah. No, I absolutely think that that should be equal, if anything. It's crazy that that's still a thing. Like, because especially since women dominate the cleaning industry completely. Um, and again, like I said, I think that that's the reason that that money is higher for men, because they would be sent on the harder jobs. But there are those women that don't give a crap. Um,
Oh, okay. Well,
yes.
let's say this, in your own personal opinion, if like let's say if you and Liam had the money to hire somebody, would you rather hire a woman or hire a man?
Um, personally, I think okay, it really depends on the person regardless,
And the
because
work
there
ethic too.
yeah, the work ethic, because I've worked with many women that don't know how to clean. Um yeah, so I think it is a stereotypical thing where like women are just the housekeepers. Like, no, I don't even mean like as like a job title. I just mean like in general, like, the men do the labor, we do the housekeeping. So I think it's like it's always gonna have that stigma around it. And like women do have I think like general historical rap for being cleaner than men.
Yeah,
Typically. I think that's just
yeah.
how it is. But yeah, I mean there are definitely men out there that are cleaner than me though. So
Oh, well, the thing I would say is one thing I've noticed, and I know that Liam can kind of agree with me on this. Men, for some reason, are better dealing with literal trash than
oh
they are
yeah.
with vacuuming or like
Yes.
dusting, or like the aspect of like, putting your work clothes on and you're getting covered in crap, but
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
those the trash men and the septic tank brothers of the world, like who literally get covered in feces and anything else you can think of. Like, I've noticed that I used to have this buddy that me and Liam know very well, but not gonna name him out. But he used to work at a water treatment facility, which literally he's cleaning all of the human waste out of the water to put it back into the city, but he wouldn't do dishes. And I'm like, dude, you'll literally walk around in human feces, but you won't do dishes. He's like,
That's
no,
so
I
funny.
consider that more of a woman thing to do the dishes and to clean and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Wait,
I
are you
mean,
talking about Austin Shame Free?
Oh God, see, dude, I told you I'm not trying to name names, but
Well,
yeah.
I didn't know. Well, it's just it makes sense because once you started talking about people that like dealing with shit, but like bitching about women, it made me think about one person. Sorry.
No, but anyway, okay, so this is one thing that I can say. I personally feel, Liam, I'm not gonna lie, this would be a really good thing to like pull up like another statistic. Can we look up the statistic of what the ratio is of how cleaner, like who's cleaner, women or men? Like so
Yeah.
we can actually get like, yeah, we should pull that up because I feel like it's going to be a little divided because there's a lot of men out there who suffer from like germophobia, like
oh,
Howie
for sure.
Mandel.
Don't bring Howie Mandel into this.
Oh no, he's great. It's just he's literally the most like, like
No,
he's the
no.
he got germophobia out there in the he got
Okay, so
that
a study by American Society for Microbiology found that women are 93%. They wash their hands 93% more than men.
oh wow. I
Compared
guess I'm
to,
feminine.
or I guess not 90. Okay, so they found that 93% of women report washing their hands after using the bathroom compared to 77% of men. However, other studies found that 96% of men and women are washing their hands with soap at work. It's important to note that reported behavior does. Okay, so essentially,
Wow.
men. I don't know, but I feel like that's
I
not
feel like
being
men have
taken
come a
into.
long way.
Yeah.
I do.
This
Like
is more
Leah,
like a
ooh,
realistic statistic right here. This is more like a realistic statistic. The
yeah.
81 is okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
men have
Oh,
come a long
Liam.
way, I
Okay.
think.
I know that we're interviewing Jules, but I have a quick question, like for you, that kind of pertains to both of us. Would you say that being with a woman who works in the cleaning industry has made you like a cleaner man? Like to take care of stuff. Like more like say if it's like vacuuming or doing the dishes or just in general making the house clean. Do you think that being married to someone who does that for a living has an impact on how you go about cleaning?
Um. I don't know.
Oh, I love this show, dude.
So actually, I think. What was the question?
No, I was asking you basically if you think being
I can
married to
answer it.
someone in the. Okay, well, what's
No,
the
no,
answer?
no, no, no. I want him to go ahead. No, you got this, babe.
Well, okay. I think I have gotten a little bit better since I
You
got,
have.
but that's really since I got married. It didn't have anything to do with marrying a maid. I don't think.
No.
No, I'm not. No, that was kind of like the question. Like, it wasn't like meant to be like that. I just wondered if that like had any influence on you. Like, because, you know, like I said, hell, it's like, even though like men have come like a long way, but I still feel like, I'm not going to say that like we're bad at cleaning, but we're definitely more like lazy when it comes to doing it, possibly. Like, not every man is like that, though. Like, not to, we're not talking about all men, but like, there's
A
just
lot of
certain men that like, they can't
a
be
lot of
bothered with. There's a lot of men who can't be bothered with vacuuming.
Well, I don't really like vacuuming either. And
I
it's
would
really
rather
'cause-
vacuum anyways
Well,
because
it's an
I'm really good at
autistic
it.
thing for me. Cause like whenever she turns on the vacuum, I'm like a cat. I want to be like somewhere else.
That's
I don't
why I
wanna hear-
vacuum when you're not here.
I don't like it. Too many smells.
Yeah, I do my cleaning when he's not in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I got an interesting one, I think. What would you say? Okay, like I said, we're not naming like names. I mean, unless you want to. Considering if it's a place
really
that you
just
don't work at
Austin
anymore.
Shamefree, from Carsville. Austin Shamefree. That's really the only person I think that we named.
But out of all the places you worked with, and wait, hold on. Out of all the places you'd worked with, would you say that there's a place that you least liked to work for, even if you were making like decent money doing what you were doing? Like, has there just been like a team of people where you're just like, yeah, I don't like any of these girls or any of these people. Like, no.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Have you ever worked with a man?
Cleaning wise,
Yeah.
one time at a hotel.
Hmm.
And it was fine. It was just different because he's the only dude I've ever worked with. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But it was fine though. He was cool.
I would think here. Do you prefer cleaning houses or individual rooms, like in a hotel or a motel or like whatever it is, like a condo apartment complex? Like, do you prefer individual rooms, like apartments
Yes.
or like houses? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. I made that decision very early on when I got into hotel cleaning. I was like, this is a win. No more houses. Done with that. I'm done with houses.
How long did you work for the maid service?
7 years.
Oh wow, so that was like a good chunk of your career was like in terms of like wow, I didn't know you had worked there for that long. So like
Yeah,
what
I cleaned for some people for like 3+ years.
Wow. So
Yeah.
see, have you ever thought of okay, so what my mom did is kind of the same thing as what my neighbor who lives behind me does. They're independent. Have you ever thought of starting your own service where you try to find like pretty well off clients that can pay you very well to like clean their house? Is that like an opportunity that like you would try to, pursue?
Yeah. I've thought about it. The parts that turn me off to it are having to find my own clients, having to do all of the office work, like paperwork.
Yeah.
And then like also it would be me returning to houses.
Yeah.
But if and I've toyed with the idea of doing my own business and then like hiring girls to work for me, but then I would have to train them and I'd have to do all the paperwork. I'd have to deal with the complaints. That would be the part that I don't want to do. So that's kind of why yeah.
I think okay, I want to cuz we know that you're a little bit older than us. I wanted to ask you cuz how you feel about the okay, so I feel like the cleaning industry has changed a lot since we all remember the 2008 recession where the economy just went to crap and everybody was selling their houses and stuff. And that was when my mom started to lose her business because my mom was a one-woman operation. Like there would be times where she would literally bring me to her clients' houses and I would just sit there and watch TV while she does the whole house, and they would just leave her a check because people still paid with checks back then. They'd leave her like at at the most, my mom had 3 to 4 clients paying her up to $600 to clean their houses. Because my mom, I don't know how she did it, but she would clean like 3-story houses, including basements and all of that good stuff. Like
Wow.
I've
Yeah.
spent that. I used to spend the night at some of her clients' houses while my dad was working. And after the recession hit, that stopped. So I think the whole cleaning industry has come to like that we're going to have a maid service. Like there's no independent like cleaning ladies anymore, which I'm not going to lie. My mom made really good money. Like, it was nothing to frown upon at the time. Like,
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I think the independent cleaning industry is still like super booming because the people that rent through Beechers, not all of them go through us. Some of them are individually owned. And
oh, wow.
yeah, and so they actually use private cleaners that come in and clean those condos. So we see a lot of independent cleaners coming and going to clean those units. So, but I don't know how much I don't know how much they make. I don't know how much they get paid.
Probably a lot though.
Yeah, it could be pretty good for sure. But the thing that I like the most about just working at a hotel rather than doing houses is just the driving. Like I like just being at the place. I don't like having to go from one house to another,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's a fun job.
we have a couple more sponsors that we have to talk about real quick, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up soon. Let's see. Lintcoin, the softest cryptocurrency available. Naptime
Ooh.
Industries. We were gonna make a slogan, but we fell asleep.
Beautiful.
And then Moisture Academy. You gotta teach these kids young about how to keep it damp.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those are great.
I only have I have only one last sponsor that I can add. I didn't have as many as I had the first episode. But my last sponsor for the night is Name Tag. How the fuck is anybody supposed to know what your name is? Name Tag.
Great.
Everybody needs to use it.
They do.
All right, guys. So I think that's been the episode.
That
Maid
was
of
so
Honor.
fun.
No, dude, that was good. We need to get my cousin on soon because, dude, the interview, like when we actually have somebody to interview and ask questions,
nice.
dude, it works. Yeah, it works a
felt
lot
like
better.
That went
Well,
really
Richie, we're
smoothly.
still live, so well, it's good having you.
Thank you.
We'll try and have you on again sometime soon.
Yes, I'll come up with some more gnarly stories for you.
All right.
Oh
cool.
yeah, next time we have you, we need to ask you like about how you feel about the future of the cleaning industry. That can be like a segment or something.
Oh yeah, with like AI robots and stuff. What do you think that's gonna take
Yes.
over? Yeah, because they're gonna trust me. That's what.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to have them in their closets and they're just going to come out and clean the house while everybody's gone.
All right, guys, you heard it here first.
All right,
See you guys-
dude.
See you guys on the next
All
one.
right. See you guys later.